Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashraf al-mursaleen Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am truly honored and delighted to be welcomed here today by Dr. Jamil, by Dr. Samir, and by all of my brothers and sisters here at the Mahad. I'm delighted to be here in Alexandria, the pearl of the Mediterranean place. The sisters are usually sitting behind an old curtain at the back, and the brothers are at the front. So I'm really delighted that Alexandria is leading the way, because Islam holds high the position of women. And people who are non-Muslim have a completely wrong idea about women and Islam, completely wrong. And why? Because as with many things in Islam, we give them the wrong idea. You know, we talk one thing, but we do something else. So I'm sorry brothers that I'm saying this, but I'm really delighted to see you here. I'll give you an example. Last summer, I was in Montreal, in Canada. I was invited to Montreal for a conference of sisters. It was called United Muslima Conference. It was organized by young university students, sisters, in Montreal, Canada. And they invited myself and Dr. Jamal Badawi, Egyptian, and his son-in-law, Imam Zayola Khan, to speak to this group of young, educated young women. And some weeks before the conference, the brothers were saying, it won't work. They won't be able to organize a conference on their own. They won't be able to manage it. There'll be no conference. The sisters won't be able to, they're not up to organizing this conference. But as the weeks went, and they saw the speakers coming from all over the world, and they saw the numbers growing for this conference, the brothers started to say, can we come? Do you think we can attend your conference? And the sisters said to me, what shall we do, Brother Idris? Shall we let them come? I said, yes, let them come, but sit them behind a dirty old curtain at the back. Well, in the end, we didn't do that. We let them come, and we all sat like you're sitting today. It's a joke, but it's very important, and I'm delighted to start that way. Now, there are one or two things I want to say before we start properly. And we mightn't have a start, because I've got lots of little things to say. The first is that today is the 20th of May. Earlier this week, it was the 16th of May. The 16th of May. And on that day, the 16th of May, we remember the Nakba, the catastrophe that befell Palestine in 1948. 15. We remember that the time when, for example, people in the town of Jaffa on the coast were quite literally pushed into the sea, into boats waiting to take them along the coast to refugee camps in Beirut or in Gaza further down the coast, where many of their grandchildren are still living to this day in conditions worse than they lived 60 years ago. Now, one of the problems is, this is my theme this evening, we're talking about discovering Islam or rediscovering Islam. Brothers and sisters, we need to rediscover Islam. Because as Muslims, we're great at talking. We're great at talking. Just think how over a year ago we sat watching the television, crying our eyes out, when little children were being slaughtered in the streets of Gaza. Crying our eyes out, saying, why doesn't someone do something about it? You know, I remember a year and a half ago on Facebook, the messages on Facebook, everyone were putting Palestinian flags. We love you, Gaza. We'll do anything for you. No one mentions Gaza anymore. No one mentions it. Earlier in the week, I didn't see a mention of the Nakba on Facebook. Now, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he didn't one day wake up and say, I've got a good idea. We'll call each other brothers and sisters. That sounds nice. He didn't say that. He didn't say we'll call each other brothers and sisters because that sounds good. He called us brothers and sisters because that's what we are. Let me read you something from the first book I wrote. In the 10th year after the Hijrah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ performed Hajj, the once in a lifetime pilgrimage to Mecca enjoined on all Muslims capable of making it. This was to be the 5th pillar of Islam. On the last day of the pilgrimage, he delivered his final sermon to those present, many of whom wept as they listened. Remember that you will indeed meet your Lord, he told them. So they must live in peace and charity together without greed or usury. I leave behind me 2 things, he said, the Quran and my example. If you follow them, you will not go astray. O people, listen to my words. Know that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that all Muslims constitute one brotherhood. He called aloud, be my witness, O Allah, that I have conveyed your message to my people. And there before them he revealed this verse of the Quran, this day have I perfected your religion for you, completed my favor on you, and chosen for you Islam as your religion. Now we either believe that or we don't. We either believe that we're brothers and sisters or it's just talk. We either sit in front of the television crying our eyes out saying, why doesn't someone do something about it? Or we believe it and do something about it.